עכשיו באנגלית או בעברית? לא יודע, מה אומר הרב? English? אוקיי. טוב, חבוד. So wait a minute, חכה. So, do me a favor, Benji. On my car, on the passenger seat, there are more papers like this. 2 or 3, bring them. I didn't know it's going to be in Hebrew, so Hebrew I want to start from a different place. אפשר, אפשר. לא, הכיסא זה טוב. מסתדר עם הכיסא. לא? ככה, תשין אותו על המשען, מעולה. בסדר גם, תודה רבה. לא באנו לארוחת ערב, כבודו. ברוך השם. Thank you, Benji. Thanks. Tov, is it recording, Benji? Tov, let's start. ערב טוב. ברוך השם, אנחנו ממש רגעים לפני פורים. כידוע לכם בתורה, יש חגים שהם ישירות מהתורה, כגון ראש השנה, יום כיפור. English? So you have to stop everything and let's... No, the live broadcast left, but the recording stop and start a new one. English. אז אולי באמת תתקרבו קצת שם, לא? כי אין לי כוח לצעוק. אולי שאנשים ישבו בצד הזה והגברים בצד הזה. לא, צחי, אתה תשאר בצד הזה, הגברים פה. יבואו עוד אנשים? מצפים שיבואו עוד? כי קשה לי לצעוק, אלא אם כן יש לכם מייקרופון. Maybe bring it closer, no, Benji? The whole thing, bring it closer. You good? ברוך אתה אדוני, שהכל נהיה בדברו. Leather? Let's go. Good evening. Baruch Hashem, we are moments before the beginning of Purim. As you know, tomorrow is a fast day. Usually the end of the fast day we read the Megillah, but not this year because the fast was supposed to be on Shabbat. And on Shabbat you're not allowed to fast. So we made the fast earlier. And Saturday night, Motzei Shabbat, after Arvit, we read the Megillah. And then on Sunday morning, in Tfilat Shacharit as well. As you know, all the holidays in a calendar usually are coming from the Torah. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, Pesach, Shavuot, all of them Chagim Deoraita, מהתורה. There are two holidays that are rabbinical, Hanukkah and Purim. Hanukkah and Purim is 2 times in a history that the Jewish nation had a very, very big danger. In Purim, as we all know, we were already waiting for Holocaust to happen. The Haman already made a decree that the next month of Adar, there won't be one Jew left. And Hanukkah was a different decree. They didn't want to kill the physical body, they wanted to kill the souls. The Greeks did not want to kill the Jews. They wanted to make them goyim. They wanted to turn them into Greeks, to adopt their ideology, to believe in many gods, to believe that God doesn't know the future, to believe the rest of their nonsense, to believe that the person is measured based on his beauty and his muscles and his body and his hairstyle and the gel that he puts in his hair. They invented all these things. And main thing by their life, sport. Sport comes from Sparta, Greek city. Olympic Games come from Olympia, Greek city. They invented the sport. There were a bunch of bored people. Their God was the art and the wrestling and the muscles and the beauty. They were very much into body. They were very, very much into homosexuality as well. And they were the filthiest people in the world, spiritually. They were very smart in math, in geometry, in architecture. They had a lot of skills, physical skills. But when it comes to spirituality, everything by them was the opposite of God. In the time of Haman, there was before the Greeks. This was mamash a Holocaust. We gotta kill all Jews, doesn't matter. We don't care their spiritual level. Just have to kill them. Technically, Haman made the decree a year later. Why? You want to kill the Jews? Achashverosh gave you the ring. With this ring, you can stamp any document that you want, government document, send it to all the 127 countries and kill them right away. Why you need to give them a year? Many things can happen in a year. You know how it is in politics. Next thing the king will die, a new king will come. You never know. The longer you wait with the decree, like in America, when they sentence someone to death, sometimes they wait 10 years, 15 years, until they actually execute him. By then, there's a new president, he can cancel everything. The answer is because there was no social media. There was no radio and no television. Everything was in slow motion. Today, if you want to make a decree like that, in 24 hours, the whole world knows about it. They put it on CNN and all the news right away. There is a decree. We got to kill all Jews. The whole world will know about it. They won't even wait for the date. They would start riots right away, the same night, like Kristallnacht, like the Germans did in Germany, in Europe. But in the time of Haman, it was a primitive world until the messenger arrived to the country. Remember, Achashverosh was in charge of 127 countries. Me'odu ve'at Kush. Odu ve'at Kush, it's 10,000 kilometers. It's longer than from here to Israel. That's how big his property was. He was in control of 127 countries. Everybody pays him taxes. He has army and governors in every city all over the world in 127 countries. Today, United States, how many countries they control? Officially, none. Not officially, they control Israel. They control another 23, 30 countries. How do you know if United States control you or not? If the government of that country is afraid to do something unless they get approval from United States. That's one indication. Second indication is if you want to open a bank account in that country, if you have to fill up IRS papers. Like for instance, when you go to Israel, if you are an Israeli citizen and live in America and you want to open a bank account in Israel, you have to fill up American papers with your social security, and right away the Israelis, like slaves, they run to United States. This Israeli open a bank account here. That one, this one, and United States immediately target you as someone who has something to hide. Why would you need another bank account? They don't think you have parents there, you have family there, sometimes you need to send money, it's convenient. They don't care. You have an offshore account, we will check every little transaction you're going to make. So United States control Israel. Israel have no independence. But it's not only Israel, there's other countries as well. But for instance, they don't control China. They give money to China, but they don't control them. They give money to Egypt, but the Egyptians make fun of them. They don't care about what they say. They help a lot of other Arab countries, but the Arabs do not surrender to them at all. They do whatever they want. If the Arab wants to execute someone, and United States will say, don't, they say, mind your own business. Tomorrow morning is dead. They don't care. In Israel, you want to shoot at Ahmed, the terrorist, you need to call the White House. I have a terrorist in the building, Sleepy Joe, you give me permission to shoot? Wait a minute. You sure he's a terrorist? What kind of a terrorist? Did he actually kill or he only tried to kill? With the hypocrisy. This is the situation we live in. So, we move on. So, Haman had 208 children. I know some of you have 3, 4, 5. By 5 already you begin to complain. Shem, enough. I mean, thank you, I appreciate it, but I need some, Rabbi, can I get a heter? My life is a nightmare, I can't control it. How many kids you have? The second one just was born. 2 kids. Yeah, it's very hard for me. Think about it, in the time of Haman, he had 208 kids. There was no washer and dryer. There were no cars. He didn't have the easy life we have today. You didn't press few buttons and send money to the other side of the country in a second. It was a different lifestyle. Everything was very, very difficult. But the people didn't complain as much. The more spoiled we are used to be, the more we suffer. It's the other way around. People who barely do anything with their life complain the most. People who work like slaves complain less. Why? It's all in the head. What you got used to, that's how you live. People that came to America from Israel, let's say in their 30s, and in Israel they were broke. They didn't have money. They had very hard life. They worked like servants. They barely paid their bills. They came to America, 2-3 years in real estate, became millionaires. Moved to Jamaica Mistake or to Great Neck, and now they have their life. Immediately they got the BMW, the fancy watch, they walk around the street checking who's checking me out. They live in a seret, Chaim beseret. People like this, it's very hard for them to spend money because in their mentality they're still the poor, miserable Israeli guy from Bat Yam, from Chulon, from Rishon LeZion. But their children is a different story. Their children burn money like it's sand. Why? Because they did not grow up in a poor mentality. They grew up in Jamaica Mistake. They grew up in a mistake. In Jamaica Mistake, 2 mistakes. One, the way they raised them. Second, the maid was from Jamaica. So you have a Jew, age 18, with Jamaican accent. I met few like this. So you sure you're Jewish? So yeah. Why you have accent? Well, it's from my maid. My parents were too busy for me. So you get the point. It's all in your mentality. So the American wife, what they call in America, Jap, she come to her Israeli husband, Moshe, why are you so cheap? I mean, Baruch Hashem blessed us. You already have 10 million. I don't understand. Why you always worry if I bought this or bought that? Because in his mind, just a few years ago in Israel, he had to count the shekels, if he can afford to buy things or not, he cannot buy. That's already in mentality. Doesn't matter, he's going to have billions. This is the way people are. Haman have 208 kids. Why only 10 of them were hung on a tree? Want to kill Amalek, kill all of them. Why you kill only 10? Because the other one were passive. They hated Jews, they were Nazis, they were from Zera Amalek, but they didn't do anything physically against the Jews. They mind their own business. The 10 were politicians, political activists. Everywhere they went, kill the Jews, kill the Jews, kill the Jews. And in life, everything is midah keneged midah. When the time came for people to get what they deserve, everybody get exactly what they deserve. Meaning, if you hate the Jews in your mind, but you did nothing about it physically, it's not the same like someone who speak. And if someone that speaks but didn't kill, it's not the same like someone that speaks and kill. It's different levels of punishment, which we're going to see later on. So, Rabotai, the whole story of the Megillah, do you know how many years it took? How many years? Who knows? We read it in 45 minutes. These 45 minutes took 9 years. 9 years. One day, the Goyim gets drunk. What happened when the Goyim get drunk? What are they what they're starting to talk about? Before they got drunk, they spoke about business, politics, real estate, things like that, sport. After they get drunk, the conversation switch to what? Women. Women. Why? Because the little shame that they had before, once the alcohol goes in, the real you comes out. If you give a big Talmid Chacham a lot of wine to drink, he will maybe act silly, meaning moving, laughing, or or his voice will be different, but all what's come out of his mouth will be Torah. Lots of Torah. Like a real show. But if you give a low life alcohol to drink, what comes out of his mind? Things that are not mades, curses, women, that woman, this woman, big embarrassment. Can even talk about his wife in front of the people. That's exactly what happened to this Goyim. They got very drunk, and right away they begin to argue which girls are the prettiest. The Persian, the Afghani, those from Madai, those from Bavel, the Greeks, the Jews. They're arguing. Achashverosh is married to the prettiest woman in the world, Vashti. She is a granddaughter of Nebuchadnezzar, Melech Bavel, that destroyed the first Bet HaMikdash. Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the first temple that Shlomo HaMelech built. Nebuchadnezzar had a son, Evil Merodach, who had a son, Belshazzar, who had a daughter named Vashti. Why Achashverosh married her? He can have any pretty woman he wants. He was powerful. He doesn't want just a pretty woman. He wants a pretty woman from an important royal family. Why? Because in order for him to be a king, he has to be connected to the previous kings. And that's why he took Vashti. It was a good business. Vashti is, everybody knows, she's an important woman from a very important family. Nebuchadnezzar, Melech Bavel. The Babylonians controlled the whole world before the Persians took over. All the kelim that Achashverosh put in a party, Achashverosh made a party. How many days the party took? 180 days. 6-month party. I got to a wedding. After an hour, I'm getting tired. I said, oh, wow, another 2 hours now. Dance a little bit, you eat a little bit, starting to get tired. So no, we've been in many of those. Okay, we got used to it already. Yalla, let's go home. Have a long ride. Imagine sitting in the catering hall 180 days. You're not going home, my friend. We made you a room upstairs. You have to party 180 days. It wasn't like that. People came and go. One day, like at Yarid. Like they have, an amusement park. Every day, different people coming. It's like a show, ta'arucha. They show the kelim of Bet HaMikdash. The kelim of Bet HaMikdash. Now, the Jews, they want to go to the party. How the Jews going to go to a party of Goyim? Allowed? Religious Jews can go to a party of Goyim in Manhattan. The Goyim make a party now, Christmas party. A Jew is allowed to participate? Absolutely not. Moshav letzim, lack of modesty, non-kosher food, non-kosher music, lots of problems. But the Persian knew it. All Jews were extremely religious. How do we know? There were no chilonim in those days. In the time of King Achashverosh, all the Jews in Persia, in Madai, in Bavel, in everywhere, they were all ultra orthodox. How do you know it? Read in the Megillah how Haman described the Jews to Achashverosh. strange nation, different than the rest of the world. Their religion is totally different. Their language is different. Their clothing are different. They are scattered. Everyone mind his own business. They do not contribute to society, like they say in Israel. Charedim parazitim, parasite. They don't work. Therefore, they don't pay taxes. Because they don't pay taxes, we have to pay for them. This is all a lie. 80% of the Haredim works. Women, almost all of them work. And men, close to 60% work. Many Chilonim don't work at all. Many Chiloniot don't work. The Haredim pay a lot of taxes in Israel. Every house they buy, they pay 8% tax. And all the Haredim buy houses to their children. Unlike the Chilonim, throw them in Tel Aviv to rent for the rest of their life. Every Haredi comes to America, collect dollar by dollar, Achnasat Kala, and they put down payment, and their families buy a house. Every house you buy in Israel, 8% goes right away to the government. Sales tax, 17%. Haredim eats a lot. They have a lot of children. They buy plates, spoons, all these things, drinks, sodas, everything they buy, 17%. They bring a lot of money to the government. The Haredim volunteer in many congregations of Chesed, Zaka, hospitals, all kinds of things. That saves the government billions of dollars every year, billions of dollars. There's a calculation. But they don't care about this. Why? Because they don't care if the Haredim work on more accurate than today. Today, 80% of the Jews are not Talmidei Yeshivot, the religious Jews. They work. Accountant, lawyer, doctors, drivers, they work. They work and they pay tax. But back in the time of Achashverosh, almost all Jews were Bnei Torah. Because you see how Aman is describing the Jews as ultra Haredim. And Aman said to Achashverosh, for the few Jews that work and pay taxes, I will cover you the lost. Aman was the richest man in the world. How much you gonna lose? $1 billion a year? On me. Calculate how much taxes you collect from the Jews that work. Tell me the number and I cover everything. So, why Haman said that the Jews are scattered everywhere? Meaning they are not united. They are not a threat. You kill them little by little. You attack them here and you attack them there, you attack them there. In one day they're all gone. It's not that you have to go and fight against the country with 10 million people. It will take you years to kill them. The Jews are going to be very easy to kill them. You go to this neighborhood, you kill them in one day. At the same time, you kill them in hundreds different neighborhoods. In the morning, the whole world wakes up and there's no Jews. No one will realize they're gone. And they don't have an army and they won't fight you and they're not united. They don't even know how to fight. They're all religious. The money you lose, I cover. Give me one reason why you want to keep them around. Achashverosh is not so bad as Haman, but he's thinking, what do I lose here? If he pay me up front the whole year, taxes, I can live with Jews, I can live without them. Okay, give him the ring. And that was a very important moment in history. If somebody asked you, since the day we got the Torah, 3,335 years ago, what was the week or the month in 3,335 years? What was the month that the Jewish people in the world reached their highest level in religion? I'll give you an example what I'm talking about. Today, you have in Shamayim, you have a spiritual scale. Spiritual scale, every person you put on that scale, it shows you how much he weighs. Not physically, spiritually. You put Yair Lapid, the scale doesn't move a bit. You put Avigdor Lieberman, the scale goes the other way around. Not only it doesn't go down, it goes up. Why? It's in a negative. You put Bennett, the scale break. You put all the other Reshaim losers who don't know how to read Hebrew, not to talk about, they don't know one halacha, never open one time in their life Torah or Gemara, their spiritual level is mamash on the bottom of the bottom. They have nothing to offer. אין להם לא תורה, לא מצוות, לא חסד, לא מידות טובות, no יושר, no nothing. Then you have modern Orthodox. They have some mitzvot. They have a lot of averot, but they have mitzvot. Keep Shabbos, that's substantial mitzvah. They give tzedakah, it's very important mitzvah. They put tefillin, the men, important mitzvah. Put talit every day, mitzvah. Some of them walk with tzitzit under their clothes, mitzvah. Women go to the mikveh, mitzvah. So they have a lot of mitzvot. They have also a lot of averot. Goyish TV in a big living room in front of the children, see naked women all day. They destroy their children. They destroy their mentality. They destroy their hashkafa. They also have very, very big sins, huge crimes against Hashem, which they're going to pay severely for that. Maybe not right away. Hashem is hoping that one day they will become more serious. But He cannot eliminate all the good things they do. So when you put them on a scale, the scale has resistance. The positive side has weight. Also the negative sides have weight. Sometimes the negative side is heavier than the positive. Sometimes the positive is heavier. But if you put Rav Elyashiv Zatzal on a scale, it goes all the way to the positive. There's nothing negative. 22 hours a day of learning Torah for more than 100 years. What can go wrong? Oh, his life, Torah and Kedusha. Wake up at 2 a.m. and learn Torah until the following midnight. Go to sleep for 2 hours. You can see him on, someone made a film on YouTube. 22 hours a day he was learning Torah in his 101 years old of life. Someone like that, take Rav Ovadia Yosef, made a revolution in the whole Sephardi world. His books affected the life of hundreds of thousands of Jews. His decisions while he was in charge affected many political subjects in Israel for good. He prevented all kinds of bad problems. He was sandak of thousands of kids. He has so many zchuyot. Did he have all his life without averot? No one is an angel. People make mistakes sometimes. It's only Hashem knows. But the idea is that you have tzaddikim that they barely ever make an avera. Almost never. Like you see now, you go to the kotel every day, who do you see there? The tzaddik Yesod Olam, Rav Ades. Every day crying, screaming, all day from morning to night. He either learn Torah or scream and prayers and roll on the floor and cry for the nation of Israel. Does he have time to make averot? Never. Where does he have time? He's always in a kotel. He has a room up there. He's learning non-stop Torah. He has unbelievable brain. He knows the whole Torah. He remembers every page by heart. Half a day he prays and cry and fast. The other day he learns Torah. You give him money, Rabbi, pray for me, please. He doesn't know how much inside. It could be $1,000, it could be $10,000. You see a rich man come from America or a fancy lady. Can you pray for my daughter that she can get married? I will pray for her anyway. What's the name? No, take the money. He doesn't want. Don't want to take the money. Tzaddik Yesod Olam. Somebody like that, he can be equal on a scale to 10,000 Israelis, religious, or to 1 million Chilonim. One like Rav Ades. 10,000 religious Israelis who goes to shul, who learn a little bit, who do. Someone like that alone can count like 10,000 people, or like Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul Zatzal. So every person has a spiritual weight. Depend how much you worth, not with money. Today in America they say זה שווה 100 מיליון, זה שווה 50 מיליון, זה שווה 200 מיליון. The way it should have been, זה שווה אין סוף מצוות. This is how you've been judged in Shamayim. So רבותיי, the goyim sits over there and they argue which woman is the prettiest. And Achashverosh wants to brag that his wife is the prettiest in the world. So he calls Vashti to come. Where was she? She had her own party. So you see, even the filthiest people in the world, murderers, drunk bums, people with zero kavod, they did not dare to make a mixed party. They didn't have the guts to mix men and women. Some religious people, they make a mixed wedding. They put few plants. Like people cannot see the women dancing between the two plants. What's the plants for? סתם, להגיד שהיה מחיצה. One rabbi went to do חתונה in Israel. With his, she walk, she ran, or she rush to come quickly. They changed their mind. You don't have to answer it. All of a sudden, Vashti became Rabbanit. Doesn't want to come. מה זה? You always show your beauty everywhere you go. What happened? They're inviting you, all the important ministers, all the rich and famous. They all want to see how pretty you are. Quickly put a bathing suit and come. She doesn't want to come. Why? Hashem gave her tzarat, leprosy. Her whole body is rash. She can't come. It's going to be a big embarrassment for her. Why Hashem did it to her? Because she was torturing the Jewish girl, forcing them to work on Shabbat, waitresses, this, cleaning, and she forced them to dress not modest, threatening them. If you're going to come again like a Rabbanit, if you're going to dress like this Rabbanit you are, you're not going to leave. You're going to torture your family. Come with open. You don't have to be so fanatic. So Hashem waited for her. Now came the moment. She refused to come. She refused to come. Now they have to kill her. Who was the first one who screamed, you have to kill her? Why? You don't want feminism to start, Your Majesty. You want women to start rebelling against their husband? It's a disaster for humanity. Men became women, women became men. It's a big risk. You must kill her, but I love her. He's drunk, remember, but I love her. Yeah, of course you love her. But if you're going to keep her alive, that's your end. No one will ever take you serious. Haman is making, Achashverosh said, but I cannot judge her. I'm a judge, I'm a king. But there is a rule in Persia, the king cannot judge a case that relates to him. His wife, his son. It's not fair, it's not objective, it's illegal. אני נגוע בדבר. What's the problem, Your Majesty? All the ministers are here. Let's vote and change the law. He changed the law that night. That the king can actually judge her. But he still doesn't want to kill her. He said, let's call the Jews. The rabbis. Rabbis, you are judges. Tell me, should I kill Vashti or no? The rabbis know this is a situation, no matter what you're going to say, you're going to pay the price. If you say kill her later, tomorrow morning, where is Vashti? The Jews told you to kill her. That's the end of all Jews. If you tell him to keep her alive, everyone make fun at him, he will blame the Jews. So no matter what, the Jews will take the fault. So the rabbis tricked him. The rabbi said, listen, the temple was destroyed. Her grandfather destroyed our temple, Nebuchadnezzar, and there's no more Sanhedrin. Once there's no Sanhedrin, we're not allowed to say a word about Dinei Nefashot. We're not allowed. Life and death, we have no authority to judge. So we cannot answer your question. Okay. If you cannot answer, you cannot answer. So what do? Haman, kill her. So they got rid of her. Why Haman wants to kill Vashti? What does he care if Vashti would leave or not? He wants his daughter to take his place. I'm going to marry my daughter to the king. Once they're going to have a child, he's going to be the new Achashverosh. Achashverosh, it wasn't a private name. It was a title. The king of Persia, their name was Achashverosh, meaning his rosh. He becomes the rosh. And the Philistines, their name was Avimelech. And the kings of Egypt, their name was Paro. There wasn't their private name. They have a separate name. And nobody cared about their private name. This is the title. And that's how the story begins. So, you know, now after they finally, Haman is convincing Achashverosh to get rid of the Jews. They got rid of Vashti. Now they need a new queen. So they send the people to recruit the prettiest women in Persia. And one of them saw Esther. Look, it's all from Hashem, how Hashem made it. Esther wasn't so pretty. The Gemara says she was Irakroket, meaning pale. She wasn't so pretty. They brought the prettiest women in Iran, in Persia. But she was okay. She was pretty, but not like all the ones that they chose. But she had chen on her, chen. Some people, even if they're not so good looking in their face, they have a special chen from Hashem, special holy charisma. It's not thanks to their talent. It's not thanks to their wisdom. It's not thanks to their look. It's not thanks to their clothing. It's a special spiritual gift that everyone that gets in touch with them fall in love with them. I love them right away. I have one avrech like this in my kollel in Yerushalayim. Everyone who meets him, in less than 2 minutes, fall in love with him and ask for his telephone number and wants to be in touch with him for the rest of his life. What is he? He's not rich. It's not a movie star. Chachamim like him, we have thousands, Baruch Hashem. He has this special chen. You look at him, you feel you want to give him your heart. You want to give him your heart, right away. Why? He has a special chen from Hashem. Some people is the other way around. Everyone that sees them feel uncomfortable, wants to run away. So Esther has chen. They like her, they bring her to Achashverosh, he chooses her. He chooses her. How many years Esther is married to Achashverosh and he doesn't know she's Jewish? 5 years. 5 years she's in a palace. It's not that he's sleeping with her in the same bedroom every night. No. Once a month maybe, he will call her to come. He had many women. Every one of them has their own room and their own servants and their own makeup and their own perfumes and their own bath and their own shopping budget. Like the Saudi sheikhs, same idea. And now the women that wants to be with the king, they have to be in the garden every day when they talk about Ha and Da, and these drunk idiots. The salvation to the Jewish nation. Now the Torah says that every time HaKadosh Baruch Hu ruled that the Jewish nation has to suffer and to get a punishment, before the decree, he also wrote the remedy, the Hatzalah, the salvation. How, when, by whom, how is it going to be? Baruch gozer umkayem, we say in Baruch Shamar. Baruch gozer, Hashem make a decree, and he's the one who helps us to overcome that decree. מקדים תרופה למכה. So what she is. אין אסתר מגדת עמה ומולדתה. Right? Where are you from? I don't want to talk about it. It's private. In America, you can never ask a woman, how old are you? It's the end of your life. Even if she's 22, it's still the end of your life. It's an illegal question. Even for job purpose, you have to think a million times if you're allowed to ask her, by the way, you're going to be my secretary. Can I ask how old are you? You married? You have children? You live around here? Some question is the end of you. Well, I have to think again if I want this job. What happened? Everything okay? No, I have second thoughts. Why? He asked her, how old is she? That's the end of the world. Same thing over there now. Ask Esther, where are you from? It's private. I don't want to discuss that. So 5 years, nobody knows. How do you know that in the time of Haman, we already explained how we know all the Jews were religious. But how do you know you didn't have even one Smolani? How do you know? There was now one lefty Jew. Not one of them went to tell that Esther is Jewish. Today, you know how many Smolanim would wait online? Rosh, she's a religious Jew. She's Charedit. He Charedit. Get rid of her. Nobody told 5 years anything. Nobody knows. Tov. The question now, I don't want to go too deep into that because we don't have that much time. The question is how Esther agreed to be with Achashverosh. Like Navi he was, even though there's no Nevuah today. He used to sit in a yeshiva. He was a student of the Ben Ish Chai, one of the holiest people in the whole world. He used to fall asleep for a few minutes, wake up, and write what he saw in Shamayim. Now he writes in a book over there stories of neshamot, of people that died. One of them is a woman named Rosa. What's the story with this Rosa? She got 50 years in Kafakela. 1 year for every time she was with a goy, an Arab goy. Arab goy. She was a married Jewish woman, cheating on her husband with an Arab that lives in an area there somewhere. For every time she was with him, how long she was with him? 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours. She got 1 year of suffering worse than hell. Kafakela is a lot worse than hell. If that's the case, how Esther agreed Achashverosh will touch her? She had to die not to agree. The Gemara said the Romans, Yimach Shimam, after they destroyed the second temple, they took all the pretty Jewish girls and the handsome Jewish boys, 400 of them on a boat from Israel to Rome, to Italy, to sell them for prostitutions. When the Jews realized their plan, all 400 of them said Shema Israel and jumped into the water and committed suicide. They rather died than one guy somewhere in Italy will touch me. Girls and the boys. You would think for a girl, is just the thought that someone would touch her without her agreement, it's worse than a murder for her. She's going to suffer 20 years after that, or more. She rather die than it happens. But the man, he doesn't want it. He's a religious man, but to think I should die for it? Not so fast. Look, Hashem knows I didn't want it. Hashem knows they put a gun to my head. I didn't choose it. I'm suffering from the situation. But should I die for it? But by the women, needless to say that most women would rather die than to be raped. Ask those women who were in October 7 by the Hamas, they'll tell you. Her life is over. So the question is, how Esther agree? The answer is a difference between a man and a woman. When a man has to have a forbidden intimacy with a woman that's forbidden to him, he cannot do the act without being active. He has to want to do it, otherwise he cannot do it. A woman can cry, can be frozen, can beg for her life. She hates the man. She want to die now. They tie her or whatever the case is, she can't move. She is now 100% frozen now. She doesn't move, she doesn't cooperate, she's crying, she's getting a heart attack. She did not do anything to participate in a sin. Even if they force her to do it, she didn't do it. She didn't move, she didn't hug him, she didn't do anything, she didn't smile. She's like a piece of land, the Gemara say. Karka olam, the chachamim say. So she doesn't have to die. If she has this dilemma, do I have to die or to agree to be attacked by this monster? And she agreed to attack, meaning better to get attacked than to die, she has no punishment. But if they say to a man, go with this woman, if not we kill you, he must die. He's not allowed to agree. Gilui Arayot is one of the 3 things that a man must die and not agree to participate. Why? Because there's no way to participate in a sin, even though it starts without intention, against your will. Once you're in the act, you begin to enjoy. Since you have a second of pleasure, you already have to die. That's how severe it is. Tell it to all the Israelis who go to Thailand, to all these places, with all these goyot, Hashem Yerachem, day and night, every day. What's waiting for them? They don't know. for the little pleasure they have here and there, if they only know what's waiting for them. Sad, very sad. So Esther, first of all, doesn't have to die. Second of all, she has a very important mission to save the entire Jewish nation from a Holocaust. It's not just pikuach nefesh of one Jew. It's pikuach nefesh of millions of Jews. Without Esther now, everyone is dead. The only chance to save them, it's Esther. You see, let me explain to you something. Today, we people that consider ourselves religious, we think in a very small format, unfortunately. Why? We live in a filthy generation. Everything is machines, electronic. You barely use your head. You can't even remember 2 telephone numbers. You don't even know how to calculate 6 times 7s without calculator. This is a new generation. It's not what it used to be. People don't read books. Nobody knows spelling. It's a disaster. So the brain works, if it used to work in 5% of its capacity, now it's not even 1%. And not only that, we have no idea how it works, how Hashem runs the world. So when we see things that are happening around us, we are not impressed. Enayim lahem velo yiru. For instance, when a woman will be taken to a palace of a goy king today, how is she going to look at it? Maybe God is punishing me for what I've done in my life. What did I do to deserve it? I rather die than be here. It's not fair. Why me? I'm a religious girl. My uncle is a big rabbi. What am I doing here? Right? This is how she's going to think today. What Esther is thinking? Hashem runs the world. There is decree to kill all Jewish people. The key to save all the Jewish people is this drunk king named Achashverosh. And Hashem, from all the women in Persia, got me to come here. There's no coincidence. That means I'm a part of a large plan. You understand how they used to look at it? Every little thing that happens, what does Hashem want? So going back to the question I asked you already forgot. If you have to choose the month from 3,335 years since Hashem gave us the Torah in Mount Sinai in front of millions of witnesses that heard the voice of God speaking to Moshe, from then until today, which month the Jews reached the highest level in spirituality? That every Jew you put on a scale, 100%. Everybody. Which month? That month started in the minute that Achashverosh removed his ring and handed to Haman, do whatever you want with the Jews. After this sentence came out of his mouth and he gave Haman the ring, that moment, a process started in a world that all Jews, even though everyone was religious and traditional, but if he was 70, he became 100. If he was 60, he became 100. If he was 80, he became 100. If he was 98, he became 100. All Jews became perfect tzaddikim. How do you know it? The Gemara discussed this. The Gemara says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent us 48 prophets, 48 Nevi'im. The whole Tanakh is full of Nevi'im. Amos, Haggai, Yoel, Yeshaya, Yirmiyah, all these Nevi'im. 48 Nevi'im. They came, they warned, they threatened, they taught Torah, they told the future, they told us what Hashem thinks about us. They gave us strong musar. And there were 7 female prophets. 7, Shiva Neviot. So how many prophets? 55. Throughout the generations, hundreds of years. Another Navi, another Navi, another Navi. Then Dvorah Neviah. Hulda. There were few female. All what they have done for the Jewish nation is nothing compared to the moment that Haman received the ring of Achashverosh all the Jewish people became fully religious, attached to HaKadosh Baruch Hu like never in a history. גדולה הסרת הטבעת, חז"ל say. The removal of the ring from the finger of Achashverosh and giving it to Haman made a bigger impact on the Jewish nation than all 55 prophets combined. All Jews became religious. Out of what? Out of fear. People started to shake. They're going to burn us alive. They're going to take all our property. What are we going to do? All our children's going to die. It's a Holocaust coming. The Goyim were counting the days. They know next Hadar, we have permission and a date to start running in the street looking for Jews and chop their head off. And once I kill him, I take his home. I take his horse. I take his jewelry. I take everything. I kill him. I kill his children. I'm not guilty. There's no punishment. Meaning the Goyim will do the job. Haman doesn't have to do anything. The king allowed to kill Jews and it's become legal. I want to ask you a question. Hitler, Imach Shimo, also wanted to kill all Jews. Hitler is also from the same nation of Haman. He is from Germania של Edom, the Gemara say. Edom, it's Amalek. Amalek is grandson of Esav. Amalek. So Hitler and Haman, the same garbage. Two Nazi mass murderers. Why Hitler did not say to all the countries, he occupied many countries, everyone was shaking from him, everyone. So all the countries that he occupied or was on the way to occupy or gave them an ultimatum, all he had to say to them, I'm going to make a deal with you. I will not occupy your land. I will not destroy your buildings. I will not kill your soldiers. In one condition, I'll leave you alone. Don't have to pay me taxes. In one condition, you take all the Jews in your country and kill them for me. Make it legal that Jews are illegal creatures. Start killing them on the street, take their property, it's all yours. In 1 week, there would not be one Jew left in the world. Instead of that, he wasn't a stupid man, come on. He ran such a country, Germany, cannot be dumb. He make gas chambers, concentration camps, millions of soldiers, billions of dollars, trucks, blankets. You have to feed the prisoner, even if you give them one slice of bread, it's still millions of people. You need to build places for them to live. You have to send them to work. You have to make fences around with electric. You have to bring doctors. There's a lot of work. What for? Kill all Jews. If not, I'll come kill you. You want to live? Kill him. I'm sorry, nothing personal. Now the Polish, they would love to kill Jews even without Hitler. They would have been doing it all alone. The Ukrainian, they hate Jews more than the Nazis. They killed 2 million Jews, the Ukrainian. Even when the Nazis were not interested anymore, they continued to kill Jews. So they hate us just as much or more. So for them, even without the threat, they will agree to do it. When Hitler comes to the Ukrainian and says, listen, you don't want to mess with me, kill all Jews, it will be the end of it. The Ukrainian tell them, we don't need you to threat us. We would be delighted to kill them. That's what's going to happen. That's right there. They didn't need Hitler to threaten them. But the question, you get the point what I'm asking? The answer is because every person that dies needs the approval of Hashem. No one can die without Hashem signing on that on Rosh Hashanah. And Hashem wanted only 1/3 of the Jewish people to die, not all of it. If Hashem wanted the entire Jewish people to die, he would give Hitler an idea to tell all the countries to just kill the Jews, and that's it. It would be done in 1 week without spending $1. The Goyim would run on the street, every Jew they see, they kill him, stab him, shoot him, burn him, take away his property. Even the Goyim that were not Amalekim, the Goyim that were not Nazis, they would kill the Jews for the property, for the greed. So listen, I have nothing against you, but I have an opportunity to take your house for free. You Jews are rich, you have a nice home, I barely have a place to live. By me killing you, it's legal. No one will press charges against me. And I become the owner of your house, the owner of your car, the owner of your factory. Give me one reason why I shouldn't kill you. So if Hashem really wanted the Jewish people, all of them to die in the time of the Holocaust, He would arrange it in a day. Everybody would be dead. Because Hashem didn't want all the Jews to die. For instance, He didn't want the Jews in the Arab countries to die. Why? They were not assimilated. They didn't marry the Goyim. In Germany, 80% marry Goyim. Austria, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, all these countries. France, Italy, all these places. Unfortunately, there was 150 years of assimilation. 7, 8 generations that Jews marry almost only Goyim. It got to a situation that Hashem say, give them another generation or two in Europe, there would be not one Jew left. Anyway, they're going to become all Goyim. Let's do something drastic. But why Jews in Syria have to die? They're all religious. They're not marry Goyim, or in Lebanon, or in Iran, or in Morocco, or in Iraq. Yes, some Jews started to be Mechalelei Shabbat there, from the time of Alliance, 110, 120 years ago, way before the Holocaust. But there were no massive assimilation. But there's one country that the Jews started to marry the Goyim. Which one? The Sephardi Jews. Greece. They killed 60,000 Sephardi Jews in Greece. And another country where there was another Sephardi place that they killed over there also tens of thousands. Huh? Who knows? Huh? No? You don't know? Close to Morocco, I give you a hint. Tunisia. Tunisians. Why? They were influenced by the French. Many of them became Monsieur and Madame. Not so much religious anymore. The rest of the places, they couldn't do it. And you know, the Arabs were anxious, calling the Nazis to come. Imach Shimon, the Mufti was meeting Hitler. Come, I'll give you everything you want. We'll together kill all Jews. For them, it was winning the lottery. But Hashem made him fail. He didn't enter Egypt. He couldn't enter Israel. Once he would enter the Middle East, the Arabs would do the job. He wouldn't have to make one concentration camps. He just tell the Arabs, I'm here, go and hunt the Jews. They will run to kill us. They kill us today without him. Why wouldn't they kill us then? So you see, Rabotai, it's all in the end, all from Hashem. One other miracle is, just when Esther made a party and she blamed Haman for the situation, he wants to kill all my nation, that's when everyone found out she's Jewish. It was a shock of his life. Haman didn't know she's Jewish. He is promoting genocide against the Jews, not knowing the wife of the king that he likes so much is a Jew. And on top of everything, when he got scared, he fell on her bed. The last thing you want when you have a goy king, evil and drunk, that someone lay on his wife's bed. I don't have to tell you what would happen. In 1 second, he will chop his head off. So Achashverosh see Haman is laying on Esther's bed, and who comes in? Charbona. That's why we say in the end of the Megillah, Vegam Charbona Zachur Latov. Perfect timing. Just when Achashverosh is fuming, he's thinking, should I kill him or not? After all, I raised him. He's like my stepson, this Haman. So after that, he's thinking, what should I do with him? I have a dilemma. My wife is Jewish. He wants to kill her and her family and her nation. He's falling on her bed. What should I do? Who showed up? Like Makeba Patish. You know, Charbona, Your Majesty. You know, one time Bigtan and Teresh, your chefs, wanted to poison you and to kill you. Remember that day? You know who saved you? Mordechai. the chief rabbi of the Jews. He is the one who heard them planning to kill you. You gave the food to the dog died, and you killed those two traders. Mordechai saved your life. He wants to kill Mordechai. This is why he wants to kill the Jews, because Mordechai doesn't bow down to him. The king heard that, and that was the end of Haman. Now, Rabotai, we should know why do we eat in Purim Rumentashen, Ozne Haman? Why not the nose of Haman? Why not the hands of Haman? Why not the head of Haman? There's many things you want to remember Purim, you want to remember Haman, no problem, be my guest. But you could say Haman's belly, Haman's nose, Haman's lips, Haman's head. There could have been many things, no? Why Ozne Haman? The answer is, from the minute Haman received the ring, what happened? Every Jew's ears started to listen very well. Until then, the rabbis would talk, fall asleep, play with his phone. So, Rabotai, I want to ask you, the reform in Germany, they deleted the word Jerusalem from the prayers. They said, we don't need Jerusalem. We don't want to move there. We have Berlin. Berlin! Universities, parks, great architecture, civilized German. What are we going to do in Jerusalem? Arabs, Sephardi Jews with Gemarot. What do we need Jerusalem? I have no intention to ever go there. Delete Jerusalem from the tefillah. Change it to Berlin. And a loud intermarriage. They say until now Jews were very nervous. They didn't want to marry the Goyim. Come on, stop being a racist. Everybody must marry a German pretty Goya. You have to do it. And they started to marry the Goyim. And almost all of them marry Goyim. Even our former prime minister is a Goy. His mother is Reformit from San Francisco. And is 100% a Goy. Just because he used the court to back him up, the wicked court of Tel Aviv, it doesn't change the reality. And Arik Sharon was also a Goy. His mother was also Goya. Israel is full of Goyim. Many of these people that you see on the TV, many of them are Goyim. Their mothers or the grandmother are Goyim. There's assimilation everywhere. Everywhere you go. You know, they brought more than 1 million Russian Goyim to Israel and Ukrainian. This is now third generation already. They have grandchildren. They came to Israel with children. Those children became adults. They got married and have children, and they're all Goyim. And they marry Israeli guys and girls. It's Andre Lamusia. It's Tovavo. Every kid that you meet today in Israel, 50% Jew, 50% Goy. There's no way to know. If you're a gabbai in a synagogue, and they bring a kid for bar mitzvah, there's a very, very high chance that this kid is not Jewish. You have to give him aliyah to the Torah with tefillin, his family come with their iPhones on Shabbat, take pictures, and in the end this kid is not a Jew bichlal. Why? His grandmother is a Goya from Russia or from Ukraine. They don't even know. Here it's even worse. Here in America it's a lot worse. But in Israel it became like here once they brought 1 million Ukrainians and Russians, which 960,000 of them were Goyim. And now they are close to 2 million Goyim because it's third generation. That's how they destroyed officially Israel. Meaning from this moment on, you know there's no future. No future until Mashiach would come. That's it. There's no way to save Israel. It's a boat that is already sinking. The only question now, how many will be saved? Those who will be strictly religious will be saved. The rest, Hashem Yirachem, what's waiting for them. Read Zechariah 14 in the Tanakh. Describes the end of the world. But I want to finish. I have 5 minutes left. So they allowed intermarriage. What's the first two rules that Hitler passed?
Intermarriage.
Anyone who will marry Jew will be put to death. You're not allowed to marry the Jews. And what's the second? What's the second? Huh? Jews can never be citizens of Germany, even if they're born here. Jews say we admire Berlin, we are citizens of Berlin, what do we need Jerusalem? Change it in a Siddur. And why we don't marry the Goyim, we should marry everyone. First two attacks that Hitler made against the Jews, you will never be citizens and you will never marry the Goyim. Don't you see it's the end of Hashem? It's all midah keneged midah. Measure for measure 100%. Like I told you, Hitler controlled 1/3 of the world. He didn't control United States, Australia, China, India, and Africa. He only occupied countries where there were Jewish populations. He had no interest in China. You know what it means if you occupy China? You know how many treasures they have in nature over there? You know how many things, you know how many slaves you can have from China? You know how many slaves you could get in Africa? He's erased it. He didn't go there. There's no Jews in Africa. There were no Jews in Australia. There were no Jews in China. He only target countries where there are Jewish communities. Don't you see that it was all the hand of Hashem? If it was about power and about occupying the world, he would occupy any country, one after the other by the right order. No, he skipped some. They are out of my plan. I have no interest in them. Only places where the Jews he went. And like I said, he could have said, just kill the Jews and I leave you alone. What does he need? Ghettos, concentration camps, trains, train track. Every day it's getting broken to fix it. What do you want? You need to feed them until you kill them. What for? It cost him trillions. Just let the Goyim kill them free, take their property, and you're good. In 1 week, you got rid of them. Because Hashem didn't allow. He didn't want all Jews to die. Then all Jews would die in 1 week. You wouldn't find one left. In the beginning, the Nazis didn't want to kill the Jews. You know, the original plan was to throw them out of Germany. No country agreed to accept them. Hashem made the heart of every king and every president in the world so cool, and now one agreed to allow immigration of Jews. Now Jews are doctors, are lawyers, before the Holocaust, judges, artists, musicians, intellectual people. They could have contributed to the Goyish world so much in science and medicine. They are not Arab, all kinds of morons who doesn't know how to read and write, and all they know is to kill and to take money from the government, and they don't want to do anything, and they want to destroy the people of Germany and France, and that's what they did, of England. And they did not invent one thing in history besides falafel and hummus. They did not. The one Spanish author, Goy, wrote a letter. We killed the most important people in the world that were living in Europe, contributed to us in every subject that you can imagine. We killed them all. They were the light of the world. And instead of them, God gave us those morons who do not contribute anything, do not invent anything, and you cannot live next to them because every second they think how to kill you. We got what we deserve. We had the Jews here and we killed them, and this is what we got instead. That's not my words, it's his words. Many goyim today in Europe understand that. That's why a lot of Nazis are going back to power in some countries, in Holland, people that hate very much Islam. Why? They're starting to realize another 20 years and they're all going to be dead. They realize it. I have news for them. It's way too late for them. It's a done deal. All Europeans will be slaughtered. Not one of them would stay alive. It's just a matter if it will take 20 years or 40 years. They will have to either run or to get killed. Paris is Muslim and London is Muslim and soon United States will become Muslim unless Hashem will put somebody normal here in power. But that's it. That's what's going to happen in the world. The question is what's going to be with us. Is this a plan of Hashem to force us to run away from the exile into Israel? Maybe that's the way Hashem is doing it. If everywhere you go, you're not going to be able to live safe. The Muslims will attack you in every city in the world. Jews will have to run somewhere. Where are they going to run? To Israel. But Israel is also not safe. Better to be with your brothers and family not safe than to be with strangers who wants to kill you. If we have to be not safe, we might as well be over there. You agree, right? I don't know the plan of Hashem. We don't know. We will see. Another few years we will know. So let's conclude, Rabotai. It's written in Tehillim, למנצח לדוד אמר נבל בליבו. What's naval? Villain. A villain thinks everything is corrupted. No one does good. Now one even does good. Where is God? Why should I even listen to him? That's how the villain thinks. And Rabotai, because of that, all these villains, all these Reshaim that deny God, deny the Torah, deny the religion, they are transferred to the authority of the Satan. The Satan does bad in the world, but he needs soldiers. Not everybody the Satan can touch. If you're a religious Jew, you shomer mitzvot. If you're a modest woman, you read Tehillim, you keep Shabbos, your kids are in yeshivot, the Satan has no permission to use you to do evil in the world. No permission. Once you become Rasha Merusha with your own will, Chalel Shabbat, promoting abomination, eating trefot, then Hashem transfer you to the hand of the Satan. From the minute you are in his authority, you have no more control. He sends you on missions. You have to destroy the life of this one, you have to write an article about this one, you have to testify against this one in a secular court. You have to cheat with the wife of this one, and you have to cheat with the husband of this one. That's how the Satan is using the Reshaim. Where does it say it? מגלגלים זכות על ידי זכאי, מגלגלים חובה על ידי חייב. If you are guilty and wicked, Hashem use you to do bad in the world. He gives the Satan permission, take him, is yours. That's all the politicians in Israel, you see them. The Satan control them 100%. Then you have the tzaddikim. Only good come to the world from them. Torah, Irat Shamayim, good speeches, good books, modesty, they're raising children in a beautiful way. They do not hurt society. Because the Satan has no permission to use them to destroy the world. But once a person is falling, used to be religious, stop to learn Torah a month or two, falling. All of a sudden, one thing leads to another. Mitzvah goreret mitzvah, avera goreret avera. Start with one avera, another one comes right away. You did the second one, a third one is waiting. You did the third one, 50 is waiting. Do this and do that and do this and murder and rape and steal and rob. Well, you used to be religious in yeshiva 5 years ago. What happened? My friend, it started with one thing and another thing, and look what happened to me. Today I got a message like this, someone from Canada. I don't recognize myself anymore. As my last choice, I am appealing to you, Rabbi. Please save me before there will be nothing to save. That was the word of that person. Why? So I asked, how you got to such a situation? You were such a tzaddik. Little thing, little that, I had some crisis, my mother got sick. One thing leads to the other, I wasn't in a good mood. And here I am. I have to start the whole journey. Aval, it's not too late, still alive. Sheva ipol tzaddik vekam. Purim, it's the holiday of the tzedakah, Rabotai. Give tons of tzedakot, maybe it's the last Purim ever. Take advantage on it. Give tons of tzedakot. Look for poor people. Prefer to give to those who sit and learn Torah. They revive the world. You're going to have a share in the Torah. If you give some bum that doesn't keep mitzvot, He also needs to eat, but he has no merit. He doesn't do anything good in the world. You want to revive someone that contribute to the world and make God happy. You make him happy, you make Hashem happy. You make Hashem happy, he will make you and your children happy. It's very simple math. You want to help some lefty liberal trade levelly. The highest level of investment is saving souls. People that are not Shomer Shabbat, find the way to make them Shomrei Shabbat. Give them USB, give them books, invite them for Shabbat, bring them to a seminar, send them clips, make a group, WhatsApp group of Divrei Torah, of strong speakers that speak, shaking their hearts. Don't bring parv speaker. They're not only not helping, they're destroying their people. Someone who give compliment to the wicked people, to the Mechalelei Shabbat, is definitely not helping the Jewish nation. It makes them comfortably numb. They will remain Mechalelei Shabbat, they will marry goyim, they will put their kids in public school, and they will feel great about it. And whose fault it is? The rabbi that was next to them 10 years and never told them anything. It's all his fault. He should have spoken and say the truth of the Torah. You want to hear? Beautiful. We'll save you. You don't want? Find someone else. I'm a doctor. Hashem puts me here to cure your soul. I won't cure your soul by giving you cocaine and heroin or make you fall asleep. That's not how you cure a person. You don't give him sleeping pill. You have to cure the root of the problem. Without Musar, nobody will be cured. No one. So Be'ezrat Hashem, Rabotai, I want to wish every one of you happy Purim. It's hard to be happy. David Yosef said yesterday, in Israel, do not make grandiose Purim parties in Pharesia, on the streets of Israel. Here it's not as bad because we're not in Israel. But in Israel there are so many miserable people that lost their children, they lost their relatives, some of their kids are kidnapped. The country is in a very bad mood right now. There's big hatred to Haredim to begin with, on top of everything. And now imagine they see the Hasidim, the Haredim, that according to them, they are parasites, they don't pay taxes, they don't go to the army, and we are dying, and we are protecting them, and they are dancing and getting drunk. It looks very bad. They are 100% wrong. Thanks to the Haredim, they are alive. It's a verse in the Torah. But they got it wrong. So you have to calculate if this person is dumb and he thinks that you are bad, but thanks to you he's alive, but he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it. You don't want to attract more hatred. If you build a beautiful mansion here in Queens, when a guy comes to work in your house and he sees your wealth, it kills him. He cannot pay the mortgage, he suffers, he works until late at night, don't see his children. That contribute to the genocide that one day they would want to do to us. That's why I always tell people, why you need to attract attention with your wealth? Live simple. Anyway, Hashem doesn't like this kind of lifestyle. Get a nice car. Nobody told you it has to be the most expensive one. Normal watch, normal clothes. What do you need to show you and flash with your wealth? Who are you impressing? You only bring problems to yourself. If not, the goy will kill you, the Ayin Hara will kill you.
Sure.
But nobody listens. Rabbi, I'm getting a new car tomorrow. Which one? The new BMW. But you just got 1 year ago. No, but this one is better. I want you to come see it. What a noise. Whoa, you woke up the whole neighborhood. You like it, Rabbi? For all the people in the world, who is he calling to impress? The 150 times don't get this car. People not getting it. They're talking to the wall. You come to these people who spend $100,000 on a vacation on Pesach for the family. Tell them, make it at home, will cost you 20. With everyone, with the grandkids, with the best food. Everyone will enjoy together, kosher, with a kosher shul, with a kosher rabbi, with a kosher kriyat Torah. When you need Cancun and Miami and all these prutzim, these mekomot. And the 80,000 you wanted to burn over there in Mexico or I don't know where, support the yeshiva for the entire year. You get trillions of mitzvot. You ruined the fun. I want to finish with one sentence that the Chilonim invented. If it was up to me, I would put it in Pirkei Avot. It's צוחק